morning everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and this is Stitched Up, so I hope you're all really well and are having a really good week. I have been a little bit quiet on the old Instagram over the last couple of weeks, and this is the first vlog that I've managed to film this week. So I've still got to do my June makes, I think it is. Yeah, I've still got to do that, but the reason I've been a bit quiet is because I had a health procedure last week that didn't quite go to plan, and it's taken me a little bit of time to recover from that, probably a bit more than ordinarily would be required, but I'm okay, I'm doing okay. But yeah, it's not been a great 10 days to be perfectly honest. And then a couple of days ago I was out walking Piper and we were playing chase the ball, and he basically ran at me full pelt straight into the side of my leg, and I went down like a sack of spuds basically. So yeah, I thought I'd broken my leg and spent yesterday morning in our local urgent treatment centre having my leg x-rayed, and fortunately it's just a really bad sprain, but it's very swollen. I'm just looking at it now. It's very swollen. Yesterday I was really struggling to walk, but it's a little bit better today. I can walk on it today. So yeah, it's not been a fun couple of weeks, but it goes like that, doesn't it? Anyway, I thought I would come back on to today to talk to you about this little make, which is the Sorrento jacket by Sew Over It. So I thought, because I've not had a chance to do my June makes vlog yet and film, yeah, I've not been up to filming all the twirls of all the clothes that I made in June. So but I did make this little thing was it last weekend, or it might have even been the weekend before actually, but I have got this little jacket made, and I mentioned this in my last vlog, which was my July plans, that I wanted to get this jacket made, and I am absolutely over the moon with it. It's fantastic, love it. So I thought it would be good to do a little review and show you this denim jacket. So the Sorrento jacket is obviously a pattern by Sew Over It, but you can't buy it as a standalone pattern. You have to purchase it via their Summer Dreaming My Capsule Wardrobe ebook. And quite often Sew Over It do have discounts. They've just had one actually where I think there was 20% off the ebook, but this is a great little ebook of patterns. I absolutely love it. I think it's my favourite one. I prefer this one than the work to weekend one. I think the patterns in this just do a little bit more for me, but this is the second pattern of the ebook group of patterns, which I think there's 5 altogether that I've made, the other one being the Ravello dress. But I've wanted to make a denim jacket for quite some time, and the other one that I was considering was the Audrey by Seamwork. I'll put a picture of that one here. I do have that pattern and I've got it printed out on AO, and I was going to do that, but then when this book came out, this ebook came out last summer, really loved it, so I thought I would just hang fire and wait until I was ready to make it. And this seemed the perfect month, because this time of year I think a little denim jacket is great to wear over eve dress, because it just casuals it up a little bit more. And you know, summer dresses where it's just a little bit, I don't know, a little bit breezy, and you want to wear a summer dress but you feel a little bit cool. And I don't always want to wear cardigans, because I think, you know, well, I don't know, sometimes, you know, you just want to be a bit more covered, don't you, than a cardigan, a little bit more weatherproof, I guess. So I think a denim jacket works really well for that, because it's not too hot, and but you know, it just gives you that extra layer, doesn't it? So yeah, and I've wanted a cropped one for some time. One of the issues I have with all ready-to-wear jackets is the length of the sleeves, and denim jackets are the worst for it, I've found, because I'm tall, as you know, and I have really long arms. I've got gibbon arms, and yeah, they're just unnaturally long. And so one of the regular alterations I always have to make to all my sewing patterns is lengthening the sleeves, usually by about 1 inch. And in ready-to-wear jackets, blouses, shirts are always sort of mid lower arm length on me. They never come to my wrist. So yeah, that's always a problem. So making my own denim jacket meant that I could obviously lengthen the sleeve to my own liking. So I'm going to stand up first and show you the finished jacket. Okay, so I've just changed position in my sewing room because the camera was just constantly focusing on my mannequin every time I moved. But here we go. So here is my finished Sorrento jacket, and yeah, I absolutely love it. So it's got the classic ready-to-wear styling, and I used this lovely stretch denim that I got from Waltons Fabrics. I think it was about £7 a metre. It's perfect for this because it's not super stretchy, but it's got enough stretch in it that it just makes it comfortable when you're wearing it and you're moving about. And yeah, it's got the little waist tabs at the back here, and obviously it's a Revere collar, so it doesn't have a collar stand. It's got the yoke detail on the back, and then you've got these two little front flap pockets that are completely usable pockets, if I can undo one to show you, like that. And obviously all the front of the jacket is all panelled and it's all top stitched. Doesn't have side front pockets, which I do think would be really nice, but then again, you know, it's fine. And it comes to my waist on me. It's got little vents just in the sleeves here with obviously the button fastenings as well, and then in the back there are also a couple of little pleats just here as well, so it just gives you that extra little bit of room. Now I made the size 10 of this jacket, which fits me absolutely perfectly. I mean, I don't think I would ever wear it buttoned up, to be honest, because I just like the more casual look, but if I do button it up, I think you'll be able to see how that looks. And the only adjustments I made to the straight size 10 was unusually, there we go, so now it's completely buttoned up. I'm obviously not wearing it with the right outfit at all because I've just got a little blouse on and my my handmade shorts actually, because I need to wear things with ease at the minute because of my swollen foot. But anyway, yeah, I did not lengthen this jacket at all because I wanted it to be very cropped on my waist, and I'm really pleased with the finished length on this. Normally I would lengthen every bodice by about an inch, but with this I was determined. I just wanted that very nipped in cropped jacket length, so I didn't lengthen the bodice pieces on this. So that's something to bear in mind if you are petite, or you are, you know, a lot shorter than me. I mean, I'm 5'10" and I do have a long body, that, you know, you might want to, depending, well, it depends how you want this jacket to fit. If you want, you know, it to be on your sort of high hip, then obviously it's probably going to fit there. But if you want the cropped look that I've gone for, then you would have to shorten all the pattern pieces. I also lengthened the sleeve. Well, actually I didn't. What I did was I cut out 2 sleeves because I think I just got carried away because I've not altered the bodice length. So I ended up cutting out the sleeves as they were, and then I looked at them and thought, they're going to be short. So I added on 1.25 inches. I had to recut them, and I added on 1.25 inches length, and I'm really glad I did because they still come to sort of bracelet length on me, and they would have been up here if I hadn't have done. So, but I do like this length. I think much longer, and with it being really cropped, it probably wouldn't have looked right. I think it proportionally would have looked a bit odd. So and I actually really like this length, and yeah, I'm super happy with it. Right, I'm going to unbutton it and I'm going to go sit down and then talk to you about the rest of the pattern. So I'm back. So I have put the little jacket on my mannequin so you can hopefully see it a little bit better. But Sew Over It have described this as the quintessential denim jacket. It's a classic piece in anyone's wardrobe, designed to pair beautifully with Alba, Ravello, Porto and Sienna, which are the other patterns in the collection. It will be the perfect throw on when the evenings turn chilly. Just so you know. It features everything you'd expect from a denim jacket, including a front and back yoke. So obviously that's these bits here, and the back yoke being there. Chest pockets, collar cuffs and waistband tabs. So if I just bring you in closer, You can see the waistband tabs are just here and here. All finished with double lines of immaculate top stitching. Now, my top stitching is not immaculate, but I am really pleased with it, I will say. Now, somebody did mention to me that you can do the top stitching with a twin needle. I haven't tried that, to be honest, but the top stitching thread I used is a Gutermann thread. Just bear with me 1 second and I'll grab it. This is the top stitching thread I used for this jacket, which is not your sort of classic gold colour. It's more like a pale gold, I would say. The colour number is 2725 if you're interested, and as I say, it's the Gutermann thread. And yeah, I just wanted that classic denim jacket look. I didn't want to go for anything, you know, quirky or anything like that. I just wanted something really classic that I could just throw on and wear with everything, and I'm super pleased with this. It does say that it's a longer make for more experienced sewers, and it's got tons of classic details and a clever construction. Sorrento is an enjoyable, hugely rewarding project that you'll love for years to come. Now, I totally agree with that. The construction of this jacket is actually very clever, because what they get you to do is they get you to actually get all the pieces constructed first before you then start putting everything together. And why that's really clever is because whenever you're making jeans or a jacket like this or anything with top stitching in, the biggest issue and the biggest well, it's not a problem, but the thing that takes up the most time is the constant swapping about that you have to do with needles and thread. So when you're sewing denim, obviously you use a denim needle, which I actually used these needles, which are by Prym. It's the jeans needles by Prym, and these are you can easily buy these from most haberdasheries. So I used a jeans needle with normal thread for actually sewing the individual pieces together, but then when you do the top stitching, you have to swap to top stitching needles, which are, oh no, not those ones, it's these ones. So I've got these Schmetz top stitching needles, and they have a bigger eye because your top stitching thread is thicker, so it can't get through a normal eye. So if you don't have two machines set up, then it means that you have to swap your needle and swap your thread between whether you're top stitching or constructing your pattern pieces together, and that's obviously time consuming. On top of that, I also use an edge stitching foot to get this top stitching detail correct and evenly spaced, and this is the foot I use here for my faff machine, and it's got, I don't know if you can just see it, it's got like a little groove just there, which enables me to put that little I don't even know what you want to call it really, but it enables you to butt that right up against the edge of your fabric, so that you are it just helps you with making sure that the lines of your top stitching are as perfect as you can possibly get them. I used a stitch length of 3.5 for the length of the top stitching, and it does recommend between 3 and 4. So the way that the instructions are detailed just means that you are doing the most construction you possibly can before you then start having to switch to top stitching, and it just means that it's a bit time saving. I would say that all in all, this probably took me about a full day to do from start to finish, including all the top stitching. I didn't do it over one day. I actually did it over 2 or 3 days. And it was, what's nice about it is, even if you know, I know lots of people aren't like me, and, you know, lots of you won't have time to be able to commit to, you know, spending a full day putting something like this together. And that's absolutely fine. But I think the way that this works out means that you can do little bits at a time. Like, for instance, I think I spent half an hour just putting on the button bands on one Sunday afternoon, and then I spent half an hour later on in the day just putting the collar on. But I think altogether, from absolute start to finish probably took me about a full day. So the instructions are absolutely clear, really, really well written instructions. There are a couple of typos in the instructions on, it's just words. I mean, it's not anything that's a bit complex or it leaves you scratching your head or anything like that, but there are a couple of words that are incorrect. I think for the placket, for instance, it mentions placket, but it says place. So, you know, it's just a typo, which is a bit, I'll be honest, I think, you know, So Over It are a well-known brand now that have a lot of experience at pattern drafting and writing patterns. They've got loads of patterns and they use Pattern Insiders now to test their products, and so I'm really surprised that that's not been picked up, but you know, that's fine. It's just one of those things. As I say, it doesn't mean that you can't understand the instructions, because it's just in a couple of places that there's the odd word that's wrong. And I think there's a couple of places as well where the top stitching is slightly different widths from the edge of the fabric in a couple of different areas, and it doesn't always tell you. There's a couple of points in the instructions where it doesn't tell you what width to do your top stitching at, and you just have to make that decision for yourself. So I would definitely say that this is not a beginner sew. I think actually putting everything together is easy, okay? It's going to be the top stitching, and that's the bit that really emphasizes, you know, whether it looks a professional garment or not. And I think for me, if I'd have tackled this as a beginner, I would have understood the instructions absolutely fine, and I'd have been able to put everything together because everything fits together beautifully. The only place I would have had an issue with would have been the top stitching, and because it's generally, you know, some of it is the last bit you do, to end up with a jacket that's taken a lot of time and a lot of love to put together, to then end up with top stitching that doesn't look great, I would have been quite annoyed about, I think. And that's no fault of the pattern or the instructions at all. It's just about techniques, isn't it, and experience. And yeah, so I think the only way that you could probably get away with it as a beginner is if you use a top stitching thread that blends in so it doesn't show as much, and that's absolutely fine. You know, it's just my own personal preference. I wanted to go for something like this that had that classic look with the visible top stitching. So just bear that in mind if you are more of a beginner, and if you want to tackle something like this, it might be better for you to use a top stitching thread that blends in with your fabric. I did put a picture of this in construction on Instagram, and I did get a lot of comments about how amazing the top stitching was, and I'm really grateful that people have, you know, people have seen that. I'm really proud of it, but there are areas where the top stitching isn't great. I mean, I will show you one area, for instance. On the back collar, I don't know if you can just see on there, I haven't got the roll line of the collar perfect, so the top stitching has gone off a little bit just there. But so there's odd little places like that, but you know, we're always, as sewers, we're always very critical of what we do, aren't we? And we always like to point out the little faults and everything, but you know, I do overall, I think I'm trying to be kinder to myself and think, you know, I'm just thrilled with how this looks. I love the fit of it, I love how it looks on me, and I love the fact that I look at this, and if I wasn't a sewer, I would think this was a bought ready to wear denim jacket. And you know, I think that's something to be proud of, isn't it? So the scariest bit about this jacket, oops, as with all garments like this, where is doing the buttons at the end and also the buttonholes as well. So I practiced on some scraps of denim with buttonholes first to get the length that I wanted, and to get yeah, just to try and get the placement right. I have gone off slightly with one of the buttons. I think it's this one here. They're not all in perfect alignment. This one is just slightly off, but on the whole, I think, you know, and it's one of those things that you don't get a second chance at with these buttons, because they have to be hammered on with them being proper denim buttons. But It's just one of those things, isn't it? And I think the pockets as well, the buttons for these, you know, you can see slightly more of the buttonhole on this one than you can on that. But again, these are just little finicky things that to the untrained eye you probably wouldn't notice, would you? And at the end of the day, it's handmade. And you know, it's not made by a machine. Well, it is made by a machine, but I've made it and I'm proud of it. I'm really pleased with it. So I'm going to turn it inside out to show you what it looks like from the inside. Right, so here she is inside out. Now all the seams inside are pressed, well, overlocked and then pressed, and then obviously it tells you which direction to press your seams so that you get your top stitching in the right place, etc. So it's very, very detailed in the instructions. Now I know, you know, some people don't like overlocked seams and they want to have that really nice neat finish on an inside, but you know, as I've explained throughout this video, I went for the classic denim look, and most denim jackets are just overlocked on the inside, and I think, you know, it looks absolutely fine. I didn't want to line this. I'm not bothered about having a lined denim jacket at all. I think, you know, I'm quite happy with how this denim looks on the inside, and I do like how Lisa Comfort has styled this on here. She's got the sleeves rolled up and shows the wrong side of the denim, and I'll probably do that myself. I think that looks nice. So when I was choosing the denim, I wanted to make sure I was, you know, happy with the wrong side of the denim, the finish on that, so that I would be happy to wear it that way. You know, the pockets are very cleverly constructed because it's just, you know, what can I say? It's just totally fabulous. Yeah, I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how that looks on the inside. It's really neat. The little placket, sleeve placket detail just looks something like that. It's just basically a rectangle, and the instructions for applying that to the sleeves is really, really straightforward. I don't know what else I can tell you about it really. I think you can tell how much I love it, can't you? So I have worn this loads already. The last thing I wanted to show you was I have put a label in it so that it's easy to hang up. I think that's really important for jackets. You want to be able to hang them up, don't you? So I chose this one, which is, it says aim for the stars, and it's one of a pack of labels that I got from, if I can just find it, I will show you. These ones here. So they're from So Anonymous. And yeah, I think that looks really cool. Really like that. I think it goes well with the jacket. So when it comes to buttons, I wanted to go for the sort of classic brass coloured buttons because I just think it gives that classic, you know, that classic denim look, doesn't it? So I didn't want to go for silver. I did end up purchasing a few different types of buttons first before I decided on what I wanted to go with, and I ended up getting these ones from Amazon of all places. Actually, they are 20mm diameter buttons. The Prym ones that come in the little pack with the little thing that applies them are 17mm, and these ones that are 20mm came in a pack of 10. If I just bring it closer so that you can see the design on there. I mean, you can get lots of these with lots of different designs, but I really liked the stars on there. I think it's got that really sort of classic American denim vibe, and these came in a pack of 10, and it was only when I was getting all of this together that I realised I didn't have enough, because this jacket needs 12 buttons on it. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, you've got 5 on the front button placket, you've got 2 here, which is 7, let me get this right, 2 on the back waistband, so that's 9, and then 2 on the sleeves, so that's 11 actually, not 11, not 12. So I ended up not having enough. I didn't want to buy another packet of 10 because I think these buttons from Amazon, the pack of 10 cost about £8, something like that. So I didn't want to buy another pack of 10 just for one. So I had a look in my stash, and I did have some of these ones, which are the 17mm, which were left over from another project. And so I decided to use 2 of the smaller ones on the sleeves, which are a slightly different design, but it's the same colour. And then I've just used the 9 of the 10 that I bought from Amazon on the rest of the jacket, so that all matches. So that's worked out fine. I'm really, really happy with that, but that just gives you an idea of the sizes that I used. I do think the 17mm seems to be the standard size, and they tend to be easier to find than the 20, and I was a bit worried then that maybe the 20 was a little bit too big, but actually I think it looks fine. Okay, so that's probably about everything that I can tell you about this jacket. I do love it. I absolutely love it. And would I make this pattern again? Yeah, I would, but how many denim jackets does one need? I don't think I would go for anything patterned, because it's just, I just think a patterned denim jacket, as lovely as they look and as lovely as I'm drawn to patterns, I think, you know, for a denim jacket, for me, I just want that classic plain denim jacket that I can just wear with absolutely anything. And I think a patterned one I would be restricted with. I've toyed with the idea of doing a bleached one. I think, you know, that really bleached denim I really like, and I think a bleached crop denim jacket would also be really nice if I could find the right fabric. I think Mind the Maker do some actually, but it's quite expensive. But having made this now and knowing that this fits me really well, then I think I possibly would do that at some point in the future. Yeah, really, really happy. So let me know what you think down in the comments below, and let me know if you've made a denim jacket, if you've chosen a different pattern, and what you thought of it. And yeah, I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. Right then, that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to go put my foot up now because it's swelling up and throbbing a little bit. But I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. And I am really, really, really close to 9,000 subscribers now. So if you haven't yet subscribed, I would really, really appreciate it if you wouldn't mind clicking that subscribe button to help me get to 9,000. Right, take care of yourselves, and I'll be back with you really soon. Bye.